Growing your coaching business is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in 10 minutes. So the first thing I always recommend is that if you're just starting out or if you're between 5 to 15K a month, that you start out with a one-on-one coaching offer. The reason why is because it allows your clients to get better results. It allows you to get quicker feedback, and it allows you to grow your business faster. So the first thing is start off with one-on-one coaching. Now, within that one-on-one coaching, the way you want to structure it is bi-weekly one-on-one calls for about 30 to 45 minutes in length. Now, you can offer more than bi-weekly one-on-one calls, but as a cadence, typically speaking, bi-weekly is enough because of the fact that people need time to actually take action. So set it up as bi-weekly one-on-one calls. Of course, if they need more support, like weekly calls, you can do that. So the next thing you want to offer is Slack access and community support. It doesn't have to be Slack. The communications can happen on school. It can happen on WhatsApp. It can happen in Slack. You can decide, but I prefer to use Slack for various reasons because I like to centralize communication. So Slack access and community support. So as you build out your one-on-one offer and you have different one-on-one clients, it's a good idea to put them together so that they can communicate because they will actually be able to help each other to get better results because of that community aspect and that reinforcement of, inspiration, other people to get to see other people getting results. So all in all, just having a community resource actually helps to build the entire morale of the business, of each client, and to help them get better results. Now, in order to actually launch this product, all you really need is an MVP. So your MVP is your minimum viable product. If you're already between 5 to 15K a month, I'm assuming that you have an MVP. But if you're just getting started out, make sure that you build an MVP so that your clients actually have something tangible when they first get in. Or in this digital space, they have something that is digitally tangible. So now let's get into how to actually grow the business. So that's just the very basics. That's the model, how you structure it. So now when it comes to growing the business, the first thing you need to do is actually start. So now that you start, you're going to actually calculate your KPIs. So your KPIs are the target key performance indicators that you're going to be shooting for in order to actually grow your business predictably. So I always recommend that people start off with the follower funnel or a profile visit funnel. Now, what the profile visit funnel does is it allows you to get leads at an extremely low cost and to build a relationship with them over time, which increases the amount of people who actually show up to a call when you book them into a call and actually increases the amount of trust that you have with these people, which increases not only the likelihood that they become a client, but it also increases the conversion rate, the amount of people that speak with you who actually join the program. So before we dive into that, let's have a quick conversation about KPIs. So the main KPIs that you want to implement, that you want to calculate and track when you're launching a profile visit funnel or a follower funnel is you want to calculate the cost per lead. You want to calculate your cost per booked call. You want to calculate your show rate, which will give you your cost per live call. And then you want to calculate your close rate. And all these numbers together will give you the exact number that you need to be shooting for in order to acquire a client. Let's say it costs you $1.50 to get a follower and you get 1,000 followers. You spent $1,500 to get 1,000 followers. Now, of that 1,000 followers, let's say that 2% book a call with you. Between 1 to 3% actually booking a call is extremely conservative and very reasonable. So 1,000 to 2%, 1,000 followers times 2% who book a call means 20 people actually book a call with you. Of that 20 people, 80% would show up, roughly speaking, if you have the proper pre-call sequence. So 80% of people show up to the call, which means 16 people show up. Now, let's say that you close 20%. So for every 5 people, you close one of them. That means you would have signed 3 people. Let's say your price point is $2,500. You just made $7,500 off of $1,500 worth of ad spend. So that means you 5x'd your return on the amount of money that you put into the ads. Now, let's say that you're not even good at, closing. Let's say you're pretty bad at getting people to sign up. So let's say 15% of those 16 people who actually showed up to the call with you closed. So you still closed 2 people. 2 people times $1,500 is still $3,000. So you at least double your money when you implement this strategy. Now, the thing that we want to look at here is how much does it actually cost you to get somebody to show up to a call? Well, 16 people showed up to the call. You spent $1,500. So $1,500 for all these leads and 16 people show up to the call. It means that you have a $93.75 cost per live call. Now, how much does it cost you to actually sign a client? Remember, if you signed 3 clients, you spent $1,500, you signed 3 clients, so it costs you $500 to get a new client. And this is the amount, this is how we want to track the numbers, because this allows us to make informed decisions when we run ads. So now let's go ahead and dive into like what the actual like system itself looks like. So the first thing we do here, obviously, is calculate the KPIs like we just did. The next step is we're going to target a $1 to $3 cost per follower. We're going to actually launch the profile visit funnel. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to create some ads online. We're going to run them through either Meta, or we're going to boost them through Instagram. The goal here is basically, if you want to get the most amount of followers, we'll boost it through Instagram with a specific strategy and targeting strategy, and then we'll retarget them through Meta. If our goal is just to build trust and awareness, then we'll launch it through Meta so that we can target more specific people. So we're going to launch this profile visit funnel, target 1 to 3% booked call rate, and we're going to build an audience. Now, from that audience, we're actually going to segment them into 2 separate parts. So you're going to have consciously engaged audiences and unconsciously engaged audiences. This is the part that most people don't really understand. It's that you're not just building an audience on Meta, but you're actually creating subsets of each audience. So for example, an example of an engaged audience would be anybody who liked your post, followed you on Instagram, sent you a DM, reposted your post. All these people consciously engaged with your content. But there's plenty of people who have no idea that they're actually giving you data in the Meta platform. And these are the unconsciously engaged audiences. These are people who may have watched your video for 3 seconds or 15 seconds, or watched 25% of your video, and Meta gets this data. They're not thinking that they're giving you any data, but Meta looks at that data and says, hey, look, they watched 25% of this video. And then you say, okay, I'm going to send specific information to the people who watched 25% of this video that's different from the people who actually engaged and followed or reposted. I'm going to send them different information. That way you can speak to each person where they are currently in the customer journey and build a relationship with them individually and specifically. Like, you're not going to speak to your parents the same way that you speak to your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You're going to speak to people differently. And that's what creating these subsets of the consciously engaged and unconsciously engaged audiences allows you to do. So you're going to create targeted messages. The next thing here is we're going to engage and build a relationship. So everybody who followed you or engaged with your content in any way, we're going to build a relationship with them by sending them nurture content. This comes in the form of long form YouTube, Instagram stories, posts, free lead magnets. So we're going to create nurture content. We're going to offer them lead magnets, and all of this pushes them back down to this DM conversation. The goal is to start a DM conversation with as many people as possible, because from there, we will then qualify them through a qualification sequence that we will implement in the DMs. And most people don't do this properly, which is why they don't have a good booked call rate. And because it's so hard for them to book any calls, they don't make any money, and they're not able to grow their business, and they're not able to impact more people through their businesses because they don't know how to properly qualify. So we're going to walk them through a qualification sequence. The next thing here is we're going to schedule them into a book call. And here's another place where a lot of people mess up. Between the time when somebody books a call and they actually get on the call with you, most people just don't have any systems in place. But what we're going to do is implement a pre-call sequence. And in that pre-call sequence, the whole goal of it is to build a relationship, build more trust and authority, credibility, as well as to increase the likelihood that they show up to the call. And just doing that results in more people showing up to the call, more people signing up into your program, and all of that drops as direct profit to your bottom line, as well as more lives and people that you can impact through your business. Now you're going to get them onto a one-on-one discovery call. And the main goal here is simply to learn what are the main challenges and struggles that they're currently facing, what's the goal that they're working toward, and what's preventing them from getting there right now. If you can figure out those 3 things and you're in alignment with this potential client, then you can present your offer and what you can do and what transformation you can provide to actually help them make a good decision for themselves to join your program and get the result that they want. So our goal here is 80% show rate, at least a 20% close rate. And from there, we're going to convert them into a client, and we're going to that's it. You've completed it. That's the entire funnel, how it works, top down. And you can implement this literally in the next 72 hours. The strategy here is quite simple. It does take work, and you need to have the proper strategy in place. It's not as simple as just boosting some random post and getting clients. You have to generate attention. Then you have to speak to each person where they're at, build a relationship with your audience, and create proper retargeting strategies through Meta. And that's all the things that I help my clients to do and break down so that they don't just go into running ads without a strategy, but they do it properly. Now, if you want to implement this into your coaching business, I highly encourage you to watch the next video where we dive deeper into how you can make this funnel successful. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.